The midnight silence of the Bekaa Valley broke, without warning, as a sequence of precision-guided munitions tore through the reinforced concrete of a subterranean complex, sending a pillar of secondary explosions into the Lebanese night sky. The concussive force rattled windows as far away as Baalbek, while the scent of ionized air and burning propellant drifted across the limestone ridges that have long served as the strategic backbone for regional non-state actors. In the infrared optics of orbiting surveillance platforms, the target, a facility long suspected of housing advanced ballistic components, blossomed into a persistent thermal bloom that signaled the systematic destruction of high-value inventory. Ground-level observers reported the rhythmic thud of cook-offs lasting for over 40 minutes, a sensory confirmation that the strike had bypassed the facility's primary blast doors to ignite the volatile stores within. This was not simply a tactical disruption of a local militia. It was a calculated dismantling of the most sophisticated logistical node in the Hezbollah architecture. According to statements released by U.S. Central Command and subsequent briefings by Pentagon officials, the primary claim is that the United States military conducted a series of self-defense strikes against a Tier 1 Hezbollah arms depot located deep within the Bekaa Valley. Military spokesman stated that the operation utilized standoff precision munitions launched from regional assets, specifically targeting a facility that served as a central clearinghouse for Iranian-manufactured precision-guided munitions and long-range drone components. According to U.S. officials, the depot was the primary point of origin for recent escalations in the maritime and northern border theaters, and its neutralization was required to preempt an imminent large-scale attack. The claim suggests that the method employed, a locolateral, high-penetration strike, successfully destroyed hundreds of surface-to-surface missiles without causing significant damage to the surrounding civilian infrastructure. U.S. officials claim that the outcome of this action is a multi-month setback for the group's offensive capabilities, effectively severing the link between the eastern supply corridors and the front lines. Strategically, the primary actor says this action means that the era of tactical patience has concluded, and any further transfer of advanced weaponry through the Bekaa Valley will be met with immediate kinetic intervention. But the story quickly became far more complicated. Before we break down the specific satellite intelligence showing the aftermath of the Bekaa Valley strike and the technical details of the weaponry destroyed, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so we never miss the latest dramatic developments shaping global geopolitics. According to Lebanese state media and statements released by Hezbollah's Central Command, the counter-narrative characterizes the strike as an unprovoked violation of national sovereignty that targeted non-military logistical centers. Hezbollah authorities claim that the facility in the Bekaa Valley did not contain advanced ballistic missiles, but was instead a storage site for secondary supplies and civil defense equipment. According to regional analysts and local reports, the defensive mechanisms in place, including localized air defense systems, were not activated in time to intercept the incoming munitions, a failure that Lebanon's Ministry of Defense attributed to advanced electronic warfare jamming. To understand how such air defenses work, it is necessary to note that they rely on integrated radar networks to track and engage incoming threats. However, if the electronic environment is saturated with noise, the systems remain blind until the point of impact. Opposition media reported that the United States coordinated this strike with Israeli intelligence to degrade the resistance axis under the guise of preemption, asserting that the civilian casualties were higher than admitted by Western sources. Between these narratives lies a complex reality that analysts are still working to understand. What does this mean for the regional security balance? The answer is a fundamental shift in the rules of engagement that have governed the Bekaa Valley for decades. The strategic significance of the Bekaa Valley matters because it is the geographic hinge connecting the Syrian border to the Lebanese interior. To state what the target is, it is the primary logistical corridor through which heavy weaponry flows from Tehran to the Mediterranean coast. Its role is that of a strategic lungs for Hezbollah, providing the depth and concealment necessary to maintain a massive arsenal outside the range of traditional border skirmishes. Attacking or threatening this location carries strategic weight because it forces Hezbollah to either move its assets into more vulnerable, urbanized areas or face the gradual attrition of its most advanced capabilities. Connected to the broader geopolitical confrontation, This strike signals that the United States is now willing to risk direct friction to enforce a red line regarding the proliferation of precision-guided munitions in the Levant. The message was clear. The logistical immunity of the Bekaa Valley has ended. The fallout from this strike has already begun to move through the global system like a seismic wave, creating a pyramid of cascading consequences. The immediate military reaction was observed in the deployment of additional carrier strike group assets to the eastern Mediterranean, as U.S. forces moved into a force protection posture in anticipation of a retaliatory drone or rocket barrage. Regional governments in Riyadh and Abu Dhabi have responded with measured silence, while officials in Tehran issued a formal condemnation, warning that the circle of fire would expand if such strikes continued. Global markets and the energy sector reacted with immediate volatility. The price of Brent crude oil spiked by 2.2% within hours of the explosion, reflecting investor anxiety over a potential disruption to the nearby shipping lanes. That spike in energy costs has consequences far beyond the Bekaa Valley, as it threatens to reignite inflationary pressures in Western economies already struggling with supply chain stability. Diplomatic channels are currently strained to the breaking point, with the United Nations Security Council facing calls for an emergency session to address the breach of Lebanese airspace. Finally, the domestic political reaction in the United States has seen a sharpening of the divide between those advocating for total regional disengagement and those demanding a more aggressive stance to protect international trade routes. The United States maintains that the strike in the Bekaa Valley was a necessary and proportional act of self-defense aimed at degrading a clear threat to global security. Hezbollah maintains that the attack was a war crime and an act of naked aggression intended to spark a broader regional conflict. This incident is not an isolated event. It is the culmination of a decade of shadow warfare that has finally stepped into the light of direct kinetic confrontation. The synthesis of this event suggests that the traditional deterrents are failing, and both state and non-state actors are moving toward a period of unpredictable escalation where the gray zone of conflict is disappearing. The destruction of the depot may have removed the missiles, but it has added a new layer of instability to an already fragile Mediterranean balance. Will this strike remain an isolated incident, or is it the beginning of something far larger? Stay tuned for further updates as this situation continues to develop. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the latest dramatic geopolitical developments shaping the world.